do this conversation in about 10 minutes' time about David Lamb. And I'll tell you what, the response is absolutely epic. I think that reflects my decision not to try and employ the language of youth, because that closes down the conversation on a serious level when old fellas start talking about, what was it again? Bare good conversations? Yeah, exactly. Point proved. Anyway, I'm joined by a young person, I'm delighted to say. Sheridan Smith is here. Probably, if I describe you as the most successful actress of your generation, will you preen or will you get embarrassed?
I get embarrassed.
Do you? You really do. Excellent. I think you're the most successful actress of your generation, Sheridan
You're
Smith.
lovely.
And you came off stage in A Midsummer Night's Dream on Saturday,
Yes.
final curtain there, and it's now Wednesday, and you're already out and about promoting your next project, which is Star of Stage and Screen, which is a movie. And I'm sort of thinking back over the last few years, beginning probably with Legally Blonde. It doesn't look like you've drawn breath in that period. Is that how it feels from your side?
It does feel like I've been going from job to job, but that's good. It keeps me out of trouble.
and as an actress, you'll be constantly aware of the opposite experience, of course.
That's it. Well, the work's there. You've got to take it, haven't you? So I'm thrilled to be working and doing bits of theatre and telly and film. So I'm very grateful.
Where did it all start?
In the very beginning.
Yeah.
Well, my mum and dad are a country and western duo, and that's their living. So I grew up with them gigging.
Is that where Sheridan comes from? Has Sheridan got a country and western flavour to it?
No, I don't know. It could do. Let's pretend it has.
Well, you should know.
'Cause I like that. No,
well, I just think it sounds a bit country.
Sheridan?
Yeah, see.
I see an American accent. Put it in a Texan accent.
Exactly.
So I grew up singing with them and just kind of got the bug for it, and then moved to London when I was 16 to do a show called Bugsy Malone in the West End, and an agent saw it, and I've been here ever since.
What were you in Bugsy Malone?
Tallulah.
Of course. Wow.
Yeah.
So before, no formal training then?
No training, no, not at all, because it's very expensive, isn't it? And I come from a little village up north, so I've been very lucky. I'm blagging my way through.
Don't get a grant anymore. You would have got a grant 20 years ago to...
to
go to drama school. So it was literally either you work or you don't become an actress.
So I kind of took the risk to move down, which I mean, looking back
on your
now,
own.
On my own
at 16.
Yeah, I mean, now I think, goodness. But we didn't have mobile phones then. I used to have to go to the payphone and ring my mum and dad. I mean, it was brave of them to let me do it, but they knew that's kind of...
They couldn't keep you in Doncaster.
Couldn't keep me in the little village.
No.
I wanted to break out.
And if you sort of track back yourself, when's the point at which you sort of thought, crikey, this isn't just a... I mean, obviously being Tallulah in Bugsy Malone at 16 was a big break, but there's people who are on the West End stage in their teens who don't get arrested in their 20s. So when did you think that this is... the real deal?
The next job I did was actually with Damian Lewis was in it. He played the wolf before he did Homeland. Was Into the Woods at the Donmar Warehouse. I played Little Red Riding Hood. And then from there, kind of like the royal family came along, and then I did 2 Pints of Lager for about 9 years. And then it was Legally Blonde, really, that kind of changed things. I did a musical for a year and a half. And then since then, it's kind of... touch wood picked up, but I mean I'm always touching wood because you never know in this game, do you? But
no, you don't. So what made you pick this project, the film that you've made with Jamie Winston and Kate Nash and various other luminaries of the British acting scene?
Well, do you know, I haven't done that many films, to be honest, and this was a British film. It was done on quite a low budget, and it's written by a young female writer about women.
It's based on a play, isn't it? The film is called Powder Room.
That's right.
The play was called When Women We.
Yeah, we changed the title.
I prefer the first.
Do you like When Women We?
Do you like When Women We?
When Women We?
I mean, I'm fascinated. I mean, all men are fascinated. Why can't you go on your own for a start? Why do you always have to take your friend?
This is why you have to see the film.
Yes, but a Powder Room, that could be something completely different. When Women We would do exactly what it says on the tin.
We'll pretend it's called that, just so that
yeah,
you go and see it.
All right, then, I'll go.
But it's all about women and what really goes on in the toilets. I think men will be quite shocked. Women will love it because it's real and it's about women today, and it's not kind of twee versions of women. And there's that show Girls that's on in America, and there was Bridesmaids, but there's not really been a British film. And we did it on a very low budget, but it's been picked up by Universal, and we're really thrilled that people have kind of taken to it. So.
What does that mean for people outside the industry when you say it's been done on a really low budget? Because obviously there's not going to be any CGI in it or any sort of collapsing buildings. But from an actress's point of view, what does that mean? It's the size of the crew or the size of the sets.
A lot of the crew were like straight out film school. A lot of people were doing hours for free. We were doing long hours. You all kind of mucking together, and it's just because you're passionate about the job. job, so you're not getting any money, as such. You're doing it because you love the piece and love the people. And like MJ, the director's 28, she's amazing. And it was it was one of those jobs that you all pull together and become like a little family. And we had no idea that it would kind of get a big release like this. So we're all thrilled.
What did you think was going to happen to it?
Well, you never know when you make a low budget film. You hope that people are going to take to it, but we all believed in it. And it was literally like going to work with a load of friends, because it's just all females. There's a couple of men come into it, and they were quite terrified when they walked on set.
It does sound like the
Can you
lion's den.
imagine?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can actually. I can begin to.
But we're thrilled, and it's got a lovely meaning. Also nowadays there's a lot of pressure on young girls to be a certain way, and
Yes, there is.
And there's a lovely message in the story as well. It's got a lot of heart, and it's about just being true to yourself. And so I think young girls are going to really love it.
It's been in the news a lot recently, that point, hasn't it?
Yeah.
With the Miley Cyrus stuff and that unrealistic headmistresses saying we've got young girls who don't know whether they're coming or going when it comes to body image. And
That's
and
it, all the
how they should
magazines,
behave.
what size you should be. So this is just about real women, and it's, there's no kind of glossiness about it.
I've got two thoughts. The
Yeah.
first is people listening who think the last thing in the world I'd want to see is a drama set in a ladies' toilet need to be persuaded that they should see it. And we've only got a minute and a half left, so I'm going to set you two challenges. And the second challenge is if you were working in Blockbuster before, of course, it closed down, and you had to put this film on the shelf with some other films that you like, what films would you put it?
Oh, that's hard. I don't know.
Well, come on. I've got 90 seconds, Sheridan. I'm not going to speak again.
The female strong ones, your Bridesmaids. It's a chick flick, but I think men will like it.
I love Bridesmaids.
I think it's definitely something. Well, it's like a British version of that, I guess, but it's a bit cruder and a bit more British and real. And I think it's intriguing to know what goes on in women's toilets, because you don't know.
No,
and
you're
this
right.
is what happens, and you'll be shocked and surprised.
And that probably addresses the other challenge, doesn't it? The people who aren't necessarily enticed by the prospect. So you say it's very crude. That'll do.
Yeah, come on, it's got loads of hot girls in it. Come on.
That'll get them through the gates. It's not quite straight from this studio, but on Friday you're flying out to, is it LA? Where you're New York for an international Emmy for your work in Mrs. Biggs.
I am. Yeah, I can't believe it.
What are reward ceremonies like when you're
I haven't
actually
been
there?
to that many,
Have you not?
really. No, I've been to a few.
Come on, you must have
I went
been.
to the BAFTAs,
Yes.
obviously, and then, but it's really nice. You get to glam up, and I'm usually in my tracksuit bottom, so it's nice for me to get out the house. And
And if the camera's on you and you don't win, have you practiced your face?
I'm used to that face. No, well, I'm always pleased. People are genuinely pleased. Sometimes I love it when people roll their eyes, or like, I think when I
I think you should start swearing and hitting things if you lose.
Just walk out.
No one ever does that.
Would
Everyone
be
goes,
really.
"Oh, that's great. I'm so happy for them."
That would be so funny. Just stand up and walk out.
Can't believe you've given it to that so and
Throw
so.
my handbag at the stage.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe
we'll
that.
tune in. It's out on December the 6th, Powder Room. I hope there are plenty of reasons there to see it. What are you going to do next? I mean,
Yeah, well, I've just had my hair extended, as you can see.
well, I didn't know what it looked like before.
No, you're
so
a boy.
It's a
You
great
wouldn't
job.
know. But I start a job as soon as I get back from New York after the premiere of Powder Room. I'm doing a Channel 4 job. And then next year I'm doing an ITV drama, which I'm not allowed to say. But
Evidently, killer questions. It's been such a pleasure to have you here.
it's such an honour to be on with you. I think you're great. You've got a lovely voice.
Don't be daft. I was so excited to see you, though, that I completely forgot to tell everybody they could watch this interview live online. So
Oh, hello.
I'm going to get my bum slapped after the programme.
I'll slap it.
And on that bombshell, it's 11:30. That was lovely. Lisa Aziz is here with the headlines.
London Mayor Boris Johnson is insisting cycling is safer in London than it has been in previous years. He's faced calls to apologise over the number of deaths on the city's roads in the last 2 weeks while answering questions by the London Assembly.